And the big question today, Colb, is why don't nobody like Russ? Like, why don't nobody like him?
Hey, hey, if you pay attention, did you see that Marshawn? Did you see that Marshawn interview that came out?
Mm-hmm.
When it was asking him about, he was like, how'd you feel about Russ blocking you? He was like, he's just basically like, I don't care. Like, we just worked it. That wasn't my friend. We just worked together. Sometimes you just gotta be cool with people when you know you've been working with them, you're working together for a little while. You just gotta be cool with them. That's it.
Here's the thing, Colb, that I will never understand. There are dubious personalities in the NFL locker rooms. I'm not even talking about the ones y'all know about, right? There are guys who say and do heinous things to each other, to each other's family members, to each other's friends, spouses. Like, there is bad blood all the time. And I say all this to say, don't nobody hate anybody as much as Russ's former teammates hate him. And he doing none of that. He doing none of that. Like, how? What is he doing? Like,
oh, hey, listen, nobody from that Super Bowl Seahawks team likes this man.
Nobody. And it's not like us versus management thing. They are fine with Pete Carroll for the most part. Like, it's him. They just don't like him. And I'm like, what does he do? Like, you know how hard it is for somebody not to like you in a football locker room? I'll put it like this. Ben Roethlisberger and Deshaun Watson don't have to try hard to find somebody in a football locker room that will compliment their character. But you gotta search for somebody to have Russ. When's the last time you heard anybody have Russ back? Like, not just never. In a, y'all picking on him, leave him alone. Like, when was somebody stood up 10 toes down and said, that's my brother. Leave my brother alone. I've seen people do that for Ben. I've seen people do that for Deshaun. I ain't seen a soul do that for Russ. Ever. Ever.
Not one.
Why do they not like him? Like, what is he doing?
Hey, he gotta be fake, dog. He gotta be a phony.
How fake? Dog, there's fake dudes in locker rooms all the time. Like, they don't get as much hate as him.
He had to do something crazy, bro. Because if nobody from that team that won a Super Bowl in dominant fashion likes that man. But everybody else seems to be cool with everybody else. They just hate him.
And it's like, look, Richie Incognito had no problem getting reintegrated into an NFL locker room. Riley Cooper played wide receiver, said what he said, it was catching passes with Mike Vick by the end of the month, Colb, okay? Which goes to show there's a high tolerance for a number of things, except Russ. And I ain't seen Russ do any of this stuff, man. It don't make no sense. Like, does he just piss every individual person he meets off?
I can't even fathom what he's doing. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, dog. It can't.
It's so hard to imagine.
It can't just be he's corny. He a corny dude. Blah 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 blah. That wouldn't have everybody hating you, dog. That wouldn't have everybody hating.
Truly, in a football locker room, people are like, "Yeah, man, whatever wins. Like, as long as you good, as long as you good, you usually straight in a football locker room." Russ ain't been terrible. Like, why do they hate this man so much? Russ was really good when he was when he met the people who hate him the most. That man is the Hillary Clinton of quarterbacks. Like, I don't understand what he has done.
Hillary Clinton of quarterbacks is crazy.
Like, every time I read something about him, I'm like, it don't seem like that big of a, but boy, oh boy, do people hate him. And I'm just like, all right, man. Like, and the closer you get to him, I'm like, yo, something going on. I don't know, man. Like, something going on. Can't find nobody to defend him. Can't find nobody. And when somebody does defend him, they defended him in a, yeah, I know he an asshole, but like kind of way. You know what I mean? Like, it's never no 10 toes down. Y'all be lying about my homeboy. He got one. But back to the original point, we're going to look at Colin Cowherd's instant reactions on the major issues going on between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson.
So the Jets do, as they beat the Broncos, they do what their personnel allows them to do. They need to go get another wide receiver. When Aaron Rodgers comes back and Zach Wilson's the backup, they should be better at quarterback. I would address the offensive line again. But they're not that far away. I mean, if Aaron stays healthy, they do a lot of things very well. Denver's another story. They don't do anything particularly well. Russell Wilson, he's better than Zach Wilson, but, key fumble late. Late in the third quarter, he had 66 yards passing. It was underneath stuff. So I think the Broncos, even though they have, I think, some pretty good personnel on the offensive line, their run game's hit and miss, mostly miss.
They need to play my boy Jaleel McLaughlin more.
Hey, yo, shout out Jaleel out there. Just shout out Jaleel because he helped my fantasy team win this week. So
you picked him up?
Oh, yeah, you already know.
Oh, yeah, you white and proud? Okay.
Listen, look. I thought about you when I made that waiver claim.
The red and white are waving. Okay, I feel you. You know what I mean? Look, Ohio State lucky Jaleel wasn't on that team that played on this year. We would have had 14 points. Yes, sir. Yes, okay, maybe 20.
There we go.
Maybe 20. They're lucky they ain't playing, so we had Derek Rivers. Shout out to him, third round pick to the Patriots.
Some people in the secondary I like. Their secondary's okay. So they're disjointed right now. They're Jets Denver was an ugly football game, but if you're a Jets fan, you have to feel like we do some things well. I'm not sure what Denver does well. And I think Denver's got some good personnel. Now, whereas the Jets' good personnel is primarily on one side of the ball, which is why they're a better defensive team than an offensive team, the Broncos' personnel is kind of spread around. But they're going to have major issues here. There's so much pressure in the Broncos organization. Sean Payton's contract, Russell Wilson's contract. It doesn't matter.
This is what doesn't make sense with what the Broncos did. Because it's one thing to make a trade for a quarterback, go for a big swing, and it not work out. That happens, right? Doesn't work out. And I'm not even talking about Russ, Cole. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers, because they was originally trying to get Aaron Rodgers, right? That's what Nathaniel Hackett was all about. They keep doubling themselves down into dumb shit. So, okay, we can't get Aaron. We gonna get Russ. All right. Seems like a good enough move at the time, right? Everybody thought that was gonna be a good move. That doesn't work out. Okay. What do? Do you figure out a way to ride this thing out and get something out of Russ and just try to make the best of a bad situation? Or do you double down again? We know what the Broncos did. They doubled down again and traded a first-round pick for Sean Payton, which if you listen to our other videos, you would know Sean Payton ain't going to save Russ. Okay. Like, no coach is going to save him at this point. He's just who he is. So now you're sitting here. You sunk 2 first-round picks into Russ and a bunch of money. Then you went and spent more money on Sean Payton because you spent you spent some money on Nathaniel Hackett thinking that was going to get you Aaron Rodgers. So now you got Sean Payton out here who don't like Russ. Russ don't like him. And you've sunk 3 first-round picks, a bunch of money, and wasted a ton of time. And now this defense that was all world that you were getting this quarterback for kind of stinks. Also, they extended his contract after that year, right? Like after the trade. For an older quarterback. It wasn't like Deshaun's 27, let's extend him. No, it was like, hey, let's extend this 33-year-old quarterback into 2028. Not good, Cole. Not good.
That franchise is cooked. It's going to be cooked for a while.
Matter if Russell.
We will see. There's already rumors of them wanting to trade guys, wanting to try to get some guys out of there, try to get some picks and stuff like that. That's when you know. When they putting it out there, that there's some guys they're trying to move, that's when you know it's all bad.
Cole, I just thought about this. They hate Russ, and it ain't like Russ was making that much money when he was in Seattle.
You still looking for reasons why they?
I'm trying to figure it out, man. Because somebody's gonna say it's the money. Nah, they hated the dude before he got rich. I ain't like, even when Russ was real young, they weren't like, yeah, that's my guy. They were just like real indifferent about it. Wait, who is Russ's homeboy? Have you ever seen Russ jersey swap with somebody?
Oh, absolutely not. Ain't nobody trying to jersey swap.
Don't nobody like him. Like, why? It don't make no sense that nobody likes him. It don't make any sense that this many people dislike him. Now, when he's doing high knees on the plane and all this like toxic positivity stuff, okay, I can understand how that can rub somebody the wrong way. But people put up with people's weird stuff all the time. I'm telling you, it's not the weird stuff. Football players put up with weird all the time. They put up with crazy all the time. They put up with mentally unstable all the time. Hell, mentally unstable dudes be having tons of friends in the NFL. Antonio Brown got homeboys on homeboys, okay? Like, nobody does it like, nobody has no allies like Russ has no allies. He has not a singular ally. If he went to war, he'd be by himself. He ain't got no allies. What's going on with him?
I promise you, when he finally retires, when he finally hangs it up, we're gonna get all the stories about everything that was going down.
We're gonna find out that he's kicking it like Malik Wright from the game. Like
something like that.
But Malik Wright had homeboys, so it can't be like that. Where's his Derwin Davis? Okay.
Where's his Jason Pitts?
Where's his Jason Pitts? He ain't got none of that. He got a Jason Pitts. It's Richard Sherman because Jason Pitts used to go on the TV show and talk about Malik Wright all bad. Yeah, Rich doing that to you right now on Amazon. Okay, like, who is his homeboy? Please, somebody point me to Russ's home. Do we got a homeboy from college? North Carolina, Wisconsin, whichever one. He is a corporate entity. He is not a person. Like, it feels weird. Like, people dislike him. Like, people dislike corporations. Like, that's how they talk about Russ. They talk about Russ like a bad job. Like, that's how they talk about this man. It don't make any sense why they dislike him this much.
Oh man, just walking in the locker room like, you know, another day, another dollar.
I would pay money to know what that's like in that locker room. Like, do Russ walk in the locker room and everybody having a good time? Do Russ walk in and they get quiet?
Hey, no, hey, somebody ever walk in a room and you and your homeboys in the room and you just be like, you see him, you just be like,
y'all having a good ass time. Hey, I'm gonna get that lever at that Mortal Kombat. You saying some random bullshit. You know what I mean? Hey, nah. You on some, and then somebody walk in. Hey, Steve. I bet if you had a camera, every time Russ talked to somebody, he's like, oh yeah. Oh, you want to run routes after practice? Nah, bro. Are you? Don't nobody like this dude. And I'm trying to figure out, what is it about? Like, is Pete Carroll the only one willing to stand up for him? No, because he traded him. Okay, like, who is his homeboy?
He said, no, we got Gino. We good. We all right.
That man won a championship for the city of Seattle, ain't got no stands. Sherman talks about Russell Wilson like somebody who snitched on him and gave him extra jail time. Like, that's how he talk about Russ like a snitch.
It's real life hatred every time he talk about this, man.
I ain't never seen it before.
Richard Sherman is going to go to his grave hating that man's guts. I need to know what he did. I need to know what he did.
It's nuts. It's nuts. It don't make any sense that he hates this man this much. It really doesn't.
Russell has proved that he isn't washed. He better not be. For what they're paying him and the pressure on him, he's got to be excellent. He has to be an A quarterback. That's an A quarterback contract. Right now, he's playing at a B- level, C+. That's what it is. So people say, well, he's not the problem. Well, he's not the solution. I'm not really interested in pointing fingers on who the problem is. What's the solution? Or everybody gets fired. Russell right now is not good enough to be the solution. Who the problem is, who cares? You can't win football games. And I think the personality differences between Sean Payton, who's super intense, and Russell Wilson, who's more diplomatic, I think that rub will be interesting, to say the least, to watch. You also have...
That is Colin Cowherd's way of saying one gonna go. One gotta go.
He also pretty much told you who he thinks needs to go.
Pretty much. He didn't want to point fingers, but you notice Sean Payton's name wasn't brought up as many times as Russ's.
He's like, oh, Sean's super intense.
Look. He talked about Russ's contract and how he needs to be an A+ quarterback and how he's not the solution. And nary has he ever mentioned the fact that they traded a first-round pick and gave Sean Payton A+ coach money. And yeah, he ain't the problem. He ain't the solution either, Colin. Like, you ain't bringing that one up for your homeboy.
Hey, you always. Hey, Sean Payton got more homeboys than Russ.
That's what I'm saying. At least Sean got a homeboy. One of your offensive linemen from Seattle, like, don't know none of them like you, Russ? Who's your homeboy? Who's your friend? Baker Mayfield had Nick Chubb. Like, Baker Mayfield's probably the most unlikable quarterback that we've heard of in like the last 10 years to some people. Not everybody. He's pretty likable to some people. But again, that's what I'm saying. Like, Baker Mayfield's polarizing. But people like him as much as people don't like him. Don't nobody like Russ. Don't nobody like. You know how hard it is for nobody to like you? All the problems this country has is melted into the boiling pot that is a football locker room. If you stand on one side of an issue or another, there's somebody in that locker room to stand with you. Don't nobody stand with Russ. Who is it? Like, think about how hard that is. America don't hate one person no more. But according to these locker rooms, apparently Russ is the one dude. Like,
he's had multiple teammates scream at him during games.
Not even good ones. Not even ones with clout. It'd be like second-year players.
I need to know what they said. I need to know what they said in those moments. I
bet Russ just be kicking it real casual during them games. Like, I heard that he has this like positive mindset at all times. So like if they be down by 20, he'd be like, we'll get the next one.
No, that would piss me off too. That would piss me off.
I'll tell you, it's gotta be something along those lines. It's gotta be something along those lines.
You definitely would get a man. Shut up for me.
We'll get the next one.
We down 30, dog. No, we not gonna get the next.
Just put our head down. We're gonna do this.
They've scored 70 points.
Like what? I don't know how, because like it happened real fast too, Cole. Like he went from kind of likable in Seattle, then he got traded to Denver, and then like in a blink of an eye, he was the most unliked man in America. Like, while we were waiting for Deshaun Watson to come back for suspension.
Like, hey, it's insane. Watson, it's wild.
Look, it's insane that there are just two people who people want to duck on. Deshaun Watson, we understand that one, and Russell Wilson. I don't understand that one. Like, I don't. I have not seen the reason for this.
We need to know what he did. We
What did
need
he
to know what he
do?
did. We
What
need
did
to
he
know,
do?
bro. We need to know what he did.
Somebody mic him up for a whole season so we can figure this damn thing out. Because it don't make no sense. It really don't. But people don't just not like him, Cole. They passionately dislike him.
Hate this man. Hate this
And
man.
it's one thing when it's you know, Richard Sherman. Okay, he seems like the type of guy that has strong opinions. Marshawn Lynch cares about Skittles, football, and Oakland. And that man got enough room in his heart to hate you. Like, I don't know what to do with that, dog. I don't know what to do with that.
If Marshawn Lynch hates you, that more than anything else lets me know Russ be on some bullshit.
For Marshawn Lynch to publicly denounce you as like, that's not my friend. He couldn't get I mess with him. Like, there are levels to this. I don't think people understand it. I think people will take it technical who don't have a lot of experience. And how do I put this? Ebonics. They'll hear him say, I just work with him and think he's being literal, Cole. But what does I just work with him mean?
I like him.
That ain't my friend.
There's other things I would say if we weren't doing a video, but you get the idea.
Look, if I worked with somebody and you asked me about them, I'm like, yeah, I just work with them. That's not my friend. Do you know already that man has snitched on me about 3-4 times, and I really don't like them. Don't put them in the same group as me. Okay? That's what that is. There is history and there is a distaste. Because if I had no opinion about you and I work with you, I would say, oh yeah, I know homie, he cool. Like, that is the official, I ain't got no problem with that guy. You know, he cool. Yeah, I know homie. Yeah, he's straight. He couldn't even get a he's straight, Cole. Yeah.
And I'm good to say, you know, he's straight. He cool. You know, he's straight.
Yeah. Even if you've heard there are problems, you go, yeah, I mean, he been straight with me, but I don't know how he be kicking it. You know what I mean? You would get one of those. But to get yeah, we just work together. That's there was some workplace issues with this young man. Just to let y'all know, if y'all don't know, that's what was happening.